We'll get Mitch back on in a second. But what's up, guys? Anyone in the stream, welcome. It is Wednesday, October 7th here at the I-5 Sports Ride. We got a full day for you. Mitch, we good?
Yeah, we're back.
We're back,
Back in
baby.
action.
Okay. What's
Definitely
up?
starting the stream off strong.
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good. It's going excellent. The A's just tied the game back up, so that makes me feel a little bit better about things.
Bro, the A's and Twins, both of them.
Yes.
They're seriously letting the whole country down. They're not just letting their fans down. They're letting an entire country down.
I agree. I thought it was kind of funny. Did you see that the Dodgers were all worried about the Astros going into the clubhouse and stuff, so they made sure that they were in the visitors the whole time?
Really?
Yeah, they didn't want them in their clubhouse.
I mean,
Saltiness, pettiness, I love it.
yeah, even though I saw that there's rumors that Springer might sign with the Dodgers already. So
Dude, that would. Oh my goodness. All they do is make signings.
mostly
now.
because he's hitting, I think it was like 430 at Dodger Stadium, and he went 4 for 4 in Game 1 series, and he had a bomb again yesterday.
Yeah, I would go there too.
So why wouldn't you want to go there? But
Good call.
don't you think like everyone would just like boo him still? Even
Oh,
the
for sure.
yeah. Imagine like going to like like your team and still getting booed by your own fans.
Yeah, I don't think he would want to. I don't think that would be a smart move for him. It would be a huge move for the Dodgers. Then they
Oh, it'd
could,
be huge. Even though like
the stack's still out there, but
well that and he was pretty bad in the regular season.
yeah,
So
they all kind of were. It was weird.
it's good.
They got it to work.
Are we sad about that? No.
Definitely not.
What did Altuve hit this year? Like 211.
Yeah, and he has a home run today.
See, they're all just showing. They're now deciding to show up because I guarantee you, if it was a full season, they wouldn't have been hitting 211 the whole year. As much as we hate them,
Oh,
they're
for
they're
sure.
still they
For
still
sure.
would have turned it around. So
And like I
that's the
said, they
bummer.
just had so much pressure on them and so much
Yeah,
like outside noise on
Yeah.
them kind of thing that it just kind of really came after him.
yeah. But yeah, so let's get to the sidebar. If you want, can you point to where we're at on the? Oh, I'm flipped now, so I'm like it's like up here. It's your right hand. The Hawks. The Hawks are 4-0.
The Hawks are hot.
They're hot. The Hawks are hot.
There's strictly warm food that Russ is cooking.
And that was a really big game in my opinion because it was such a trap game.
Oh, for sure.
Such a
'cause
trap
you could
game.
easily-
You're traveling over to Miami, which is the farthest trip any NFL team has to make this year.
Yeah.
Playing in the morning for you, which is 1 o'clock over there, but it's 10 a.m. for you. And a Miami team that isn't that bad. Like there was people
They're
kind of
really not,
they're
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, I mean, they like everybody talks about. There's always a chance for some Fitz magic to happen, and they're really just. I wouldn't say they're kind of solid everywhere, but they're definitely like around average. Like everybody thinks that they're so below average, but they are not.
No, they got a lot of young talent, and I think Fitzpatrick deserves more love because he always whatever team he goes to, he ends up winning a few games here and there. So I don't think he's bad at all.
Most definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think he's the perfect quarterback for Tua to sit behind too, because you know that Fitz is. I heard nothing but good things about him, and you know that he knows he's not like I'm not like. He obviously knows he's not the guy of the future, so he's gonna do whatever he can to help Tua too.
Right, for sure. Yeah, and he's done that so much in his career that I think he's almost like made a living off of it, and
Pretty
that's what people
much,
love for it.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah, like he still threw for 315 yards against us, but he had 2 interceptions, which were kind of crucial for them. That never helps when you just give the ball over to the other team. Turnovers are killer, especially in the pro leagues. But I mean, still 315 yards. He threw pretty well. He even had a touchdown rushing, and was the here's the caveat for what I'm excited about because I read today that Damian Harris is getting signed to our practice squad. A lot of people are like, why is he getting? Well, you have to. Like for free agency rules right now, you actually get signed onto the practice squad, and then you get I think
Yep.
they said 5 negative tests. And once you get those, then you can get elevated onto the real squad. But that's going to bolster a run defense that I really think has actually been
That's been
pretty
that's
solid.
been like their best part of the defense is their
Yeah,
rush
it's
defense.
been
So
really solid, and Damian Harris was a 2016 All Pro. So I mean, you don't just lose everything in a year,
yeah,
or in this case, a couple of years. So hopefully, we get a little bit of that. And like I said, let's see. Fitzpatrick had 47 yards rushing, and he was the leading rusher for the Dolphins, and that's coming from an offense who had actually been putting up quite a few rushing numbers because Miles Gaskin has been getting a lot of love over there. Has
yes,
had I think two or
as he
three
should, as he
100
should.
plus yard
Woof,
games.
woof.
Always woof. But that just shows how well our pass or our rush defense is. But the fact that it was a close game shows how bad our pass rush is still.
I saw that we had a corner visiting today too. I think it was
Oh,
Randall.
okay.
Something Randall
I
from.
did not see that. Yeah,
So
I
that can
saw
help
that.
too.
I saw Michael Kendricks is in for a visit. Um,
Good. Yeah, because dude, I'm so confused of when he's actually going to get sentenced for.
it's so I saw that today too. I went and looked it up because I was really.
They got pushed back to
interested on that.
January, right? Right.
It is now. Where is that? I took a little screenshot of it. Kendrick, there it is. Looks like Kendricks is due for sentencing later this month on his insider trading.
Well, it got pushed
charge.
back. It got pushed back officially now,
When did that?
or it's either going to or if it's officially pushed back because I guess another guy who was involved in it, his sentencing got pushed back too. So now it's just looking like his is going to get pushed back as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this is I think an article from today even, and so that could be the case. And I would also think that would probably be part of the case. I'm sorry for my microphone troubles. It's being weird today. I would think that would be the case because there would be no reason to sign somebody who's probably going to be gone in 2 weeks, or like possibly going to be gone in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
no, but if you're guaranteed to have him at least until middle of January, I'd say I'm all in on signing him. Because he's a guy who you're coming in, he already knows the defense, and Jordan Brooks is going to be out for a little bit. So I'm all in for that. He's also a really good pass coverage linebacker too.
Yeah, for sure, and that'll help big time. Like you said, having him being able to fill in for Jordan Brooks for a couple weeks, even if it's just for a couple weeks, it is actually really huge for that defense. I just don't understand why no defensive ends or pass rushing like specialists.
Yeah, like Clay
Okay,
Matthews
that's it.
still is.
Clay Matthews.
Yeah, Clay Matthews still is nowhere to be found on this team. And
Yeah, and somebody posted the list of all the visits yesterday, I think it was, for all the different teams, and Clay Matthews was nowhere to be found on it. So
yeah, it makes
makes
no
me a little
sense.
bit interested.
We should though, yeah. But overall, I think it was good just to get that win, no matter if it was ugly or not. Because Russ definitely wasn't on his best game until late.
Right.
First half, he struggled a little bit, but overall, I think it's just big to get that win.
Yeah, and this was so going into this game was the first time that we hadn't scored a touchdown in the red zone, and it actually happened twice.
Yeah.
And one of them was a pick.
And one of them was a
So
turnover
we-
on downs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that was a little bit interesting, but obviously, it's kind of like we've talked about with so many different teams. Like, I'm just gonna drop the Lakers bomb that we talked about, how they're not gonna continue to shoot 70% like they did the first 2 games. You can't keep up a perfect record in the red zone, so you're eventually bound to not score a touchdown. It was just kind of a bummer that was the way it happened. It wasn't field goals, it was an interception and then a turnover on downs, but it happens.
Can we talk about how well KJ played?
For me, KJ is really moving back up the list for me because I was like, whatever, like get rid of him,
Yeah.
he'll leave, blah blah blah.
No,
but,
I was
like,
same. I was the same way. I thought he was done. Like he just looked kind of done these first few weeks, where he just like wasn't the same as he used to be. He was kind of slow, but this week he ended up having 8 tackles and then 3 pass deflections, dropped picks. But they go in as deflections. But yeah, no, I was really impressed with what I saw with him, as well. I think it was another great game from Ugo Amadi.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more and more of him. I think he's really solidified himself as that nickel guy.
For sure, yeah, he's really taken advantage of, and you hate to say it, but he's really taken advantage of injuries that have happened, and starting to move his way back up the depth chart because they were high on him at one point in time, and I think they're going to get real high on him again.
Yeah.
And and it's gonna help having him kind of solidified and like when Marquise Blair gets back and all that kind of stuff, which won't be till next season.
Yeah.
But we're really gonna have a good depth on that secondary.
And what about that Ryan Neal kid? He's showing up. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. No,
You don't know who Ryan Neal is?
Nope.
The guy. Oh, come on. He's had 2 picks the last 2 weeks. He's picked it at the end of the Cowboys game. He had another pick yesterday.
oh okay, I see who you're talking about.
And he
Yeah,
let
I didn't get to see much of the game on Sunday, so
Really? Why?
yeah, we had
What's up with that?
baseball. Ooh, baseball.
No, that's not an excuse at all. You should have
No,
you should have rewatched the whole game after.
It is an excuse because we put up like in 2 games we put up what 30 runs.
Yeah. Wow.
We're balling.
Okay. Well, I thought it was cool was I heard after the games that Ryan Neal, I guess, either Cam reached out to him or he reached out to Cam, and
Like Cam?
yeah, like Bam Bam,
Oh,
Cam,
yeah.
yeah, and
He's
then
coming back.
did you ever see?
Did he say he's coming back?
No.
Oh, bummer.
No, like Ryan Neal reached out to him,
Oh, okay.
not
I
the
thought he
team.
Cam
No,
reached out to him.
no. But then did you ever see the clip of Ryan Neal just laying out Myles Gaskin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
So
that.
that's kind of cool how if him and Cam actually did talk to each other, and then he just lays the wood
Yeah,
on Miles. It was pretty
I'm
sick.
all for that. I
Yeah.
love people that just fly. That's why I was really big on Marquise Blair, and still am. I mean, he's just hurt right now, but
Yeah.
that's basically his Call of Fame is just laying the wood. I almost said pipe.
Ooh. All right, so we are 4-0 now going into
Big time.
Sunday night with the Vikings, who just got their first win.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another, not necessarily a game like the Dolphins, like we were talking about, but it still is kind of like because it to us it's very obvious that we should win, but it's always one we always play really good games, or the Vikings play us really well.
Yeah.
They play us really tough, and so it'll be a really good game to make sure that we stay on top of it. And I'd love to see Russ kind of get cooking again more.
And primetime Russ doesn't lose.
Correct, because I mean, like we talked about, he slowed down, which is funny. It's just like the LeBron conversation that's going on, that he's slowing down, but he's still averaging 28, 9, and 9. But I mean, this was a slow game to us for Russ, and he threw for 360 with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, still a pretty good game.
Still a great game. Yeah. So we should be 5-0 heading into the bye week. So
for
as long
sure.
as we just
Most
take care of
definitely.
business, and
You like that?
Kirk Cousins is going to throw 6 picks on Sunday. I'm
that.
calling it 6 picks, 3 fumbles.
For sure. I would love to see that.
Okay.
I would like that.
So Bill O'Brien, he's out in Houston, which was I thought was
Gonzo.
kind of surprising. Not surprising the fact that he got fired, but this soon. I wasn't expecting to get fired in the middle of the season.
I think just such high expectations for a team and so much. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say so much talent because they did get rid of
Well, they
Hopkins.
didn't.
in the
I don't even
offseason.
think they had expectations this season. I think it was just kind of like you're 0-4. You should not be. If you have Deshaun Watson, your quarterback, you should not be 0-4.
And I think that's what I mean by the expectations.
Yeah,
of-
okay, yeah.
That they shouldn't like they still have Deshaun. They still have a pretty solid defense. JJ's fully healthy for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it was more a case of basically just, dude, it's just not work. And I think I almost want to say that they just kind of came to the final realization, because for those of you that don't know, he was the offensive coordinator, the head coach, and the GM. So I
Yeah.
think they finally came to the realization that that just wasn't working, and it was pretty tough. Like what are you supposed to tell? Hey, Bill, could you fire yourself as the offensive coordinator or the head coach? Like, I think it had to have been an all or nothing.
Had to be
thing.
everything. Yeah. Especially with what the trades that he's been making, getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, getting rid of who do you trade away last year?
Jadavion Clowney.
Yeah, Clowney. There's someone else
For-
too. Who did he trade to
for
the?
third
Did he
round
trade
draft
someone
pick.
to the Dolphins too?
Yeah. Can't
Or
remember who
or
it
he
was.
got Tunzel from the Dolphins for like 2 first-round picks or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's made a tons of questionable moves, and it was definitely something that was gonna happen. But I didn't see it coming in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's. I think it was just a statement like, "Hey, we gotta.
Yeah.
We're 0-4, so like,
But
something
yeah.
has to turn around. So we might as well make the call right now."
Yeah.
kinda thing.
I'm excited to see who they do hire in the offseason because I think this is a team led by Deshaun that can be really, really good.
Definitely, most definitely, and I think David Johnson isn't getting enough love. Like, I think he's a really good accompanying piece in the backfield back there with Deshaun.
No, yeah, they're a solid team. They should not be 0-4. Except
No.
they did have like a super hard first stretch of the season against, I think, Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers, Vikings.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Doesn't
But,
help
I
at
mean,
all.
You look at that, no matter what, you should at least be able to beat the Steelers and the Vikings. And I think
Yeah.
that the fact that it was whoa,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, so let's talk NFC East. It's just so bad.
It's a dumpster fire over there.
It's so bad. The Eagles are currently in first place at 1-2-1. 1-2-1.
That's just fantastic.
They're seriously about to win the division at 5-10-1.
No, it's just-
Hilarious.
I just don't understand. I read today that the Washington football team is making a change at quarterback.
Yep.
Haskins has been benched. Kyle Allen will start, which I was actually pretty impressed with Kyle Allen in Carolina last year. So that could be kind of interesting to see how that's going to work. But the crazy part is that the Dallas Cowboys have looked absolutely horrible for the first 4 weeks.
At least their defense.
Yeah, their defense. I wouldn't say absolutely horrible, but they just the fact that Dak's putting up the numbers that he is, and you only have one win, that's bad defense. That's real bad defense. And the fact that they're in second, if there wasn't that tie with who was it, the Bengals that the Eagles tied with?
Yep.
If there wasn't that tie, literally they would be tied for first place still right now.
Yeah, 1-3.
So I think it's easily Cowboys league. They're gonna easily.
Yeah, I
come out of
think.
this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the Cowboys are definitely going to turn it around, and probably finish at 8-8 and win the division.
Yeah.
It's probably
can
going to be
see
something
that,
like that, like
definitely.
8-8 or 9-7.
Yeah.
But there's way too much talent on the offense for them to keep losing these games because they literally. We'll talk about this next, but they led up 49 to the Browns.
Yeah. That.
It's not going to win you games, man. That's so bad.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough for them on the defensive side of things.
They need to sign Earl.
That wouldn't be a terrible signing for them, and I thought that he was talking about going there originally too. So
Well, remember, after
The broken leg incident?
no, remember when I think it was after a playoff game against Dallas, he went to the
Mhm.
Cowboys locker room, was like, come get me.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I wish the football team was starting Alex Smith though. I would
Yeah.
love to see that comeback story.
Right? I know. I just wonder how far out that is. I wonder if that's possibly their plan, and that's why they're benching Haskins now, and they're just letting Alex Smith get back to full
So
strength.
I think Haskins is done.
I think that I don't know, because that's a pretty big move to just bench a dude.
That's your first round pick, from
Yeah.
last year. It's only his second year.
So I don't know if
I haven't
this is
really
gonna
been
be, like,
paying
another-
attention to the football team that much. So I don't know what. So he was 32 of 45 and threw for 314 yards, sacked 3 times. That's not terrible.
See, to me, from what I understand, because like you said, I haven't watched a ton of the games either. One, because usually you don't get them on TV out here and all that stuff. But from what I've seen, he hasn't played terrible.
No. I'm trying to
Here's
pull
a-
up his.
Here's an article that says Dwayne Haskins benching a signal his NFL future isn't in Washington. So that's what I think. I think they're just making the move right now, and they're getting ready to go back to Alex Smith, kind of thing.
I mean, he's only thrown for 4 touchdowns this year. That's not
Yeah.
going to cut it.
Well, and I think his completion rating is awful.
It's 61.
So not terrible.
Not awful, but not great.
But yeah, you're looking at this, and he was, let's see, in his week 1 win, he had 178 yards with a touchdown. That's it. And then he went 223 yards with a touchdown, 224 yards against Cleveland with 2 touchdowns but 3 interceptions. And then last week he was 314 with no touchdowns, but a 71% completion rating. Maybe it's not all him, but I get it. looking at-
I was never a believer in him anyway because he was all upset about the Giants taking Daniel Jones over him, and I like Daniel Jones more than him in that draft anyway. So I was never a big believer in him. I never thought, especially that. Remember last year there was a game where he left in the middle of the game to go take a selfie with fans on the sideline.
Hey, he's just a people pleaser.
Oh, he is. You're right. Yeah, especially with 4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Well, nobody's talking about the fact that LeBron walked off the court with 10 seconds left to go when they lost.
Oh, I talked about it.
Hate it.
Awful.
Just stay there. Come on.
But maybe they're taking for T-Lore now.
Oh, maybe that's a good point.
There's gonna be a lot of teams out trying to get T-Lore.
Yeah, because he just played so well this year too. It's just
Yeah, he's a stud.
I just hope that it really does transfer over to the NFL.
But there's gonna be good like 5 or 6 teams I think shooting either shooting to get that number 1 spot or trying to trade up for it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because now you have like the Jaguars are coming down to earth. I think they're starting to see that Minshew isn't the guy. Sorry, Kook fans.
Yeah, I mean he's
gonna
He's
stick around.
solid.
He's gonna stick around for a while. He's gonna be
feel
jumping
like
around teams. Yeah,
he's gonna be the next Fitz.
he's gonna be the next
He's gonna be the
Fitzpatrick.
next
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick.
So he's either gonna be backing up or quarterbacking a tanking team and
Definitely,
end up getting more wins than they want. But he's definitely not the guy that they want to build around. I think that's
Definitely
clear
not.
now. So who else you got in the East? The Giants. The Giants are really bad too.
They're so bad, and
They
losing
were
Barkley
your pick.
was it.
They were your pick to win the East.
Okay, I get a little asterisk next to my pick because Barkley went down. Like
They think they were pretty bad even when Barkley was playing.
they were decently bad, but like
Daniel Jones is not looking good at all.
no, he looks really really bad.
Looks
He
really, really bad.
But he's gonna get even worse as the season goes on because he's got no run game behind him. It's a bummer for them that they didn't get Mike Davis out of the deal of the backups between Barkley and CMC because Mike Davis is going off and Devontae Freeman still hasn't even learned the playbook yet.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Devontae Freeman might be able to do for him though. I picked him
know.
up. I picked him up in like 4 of my leagues.
Once he gets accustomed to the
But
to
their
the
O line
team,
is so bad anyway that it might not even.
it is pretty bad,
do
and their
anything.
defense just hasn't
Yeah.
held up
Yeah.
hardly anything. I mean, they're letting up like a bajillion points a game.
All right. So here's a question.
last thing.
Here's a question for you. Are the Browns legit?
I don't.
They're 3-1 now. We kind of wrote them off week 1 after getting smoked by the Ravens.
I think the Browns are good, but I definitely wouldn't say legit. Like I think they're right where we talked about them at the beginning of the year that they could be a pretty good team. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. They got smoked week 1 by the Ravens, and we already talked about that. Then they beat the Bengals. Congratulations. Then they beat the Washington football team. Congratulations. Then they literally pulled out every single trick play you've ever heard of, seen of, thought of in the history of football to put up 165 yards passing from Baker Mayfield with 2 touchdowns.
And
Like-
and they almost let the Cowboys come back because they cut
Right.
it within 3 at one point.
Exactly. Like so you take away the
And they're losing
trick-
Chubb. They're losing Chubb too for
Chubb's out for a good couple weeks. You take away the Odell Beckham should have been a 10-yard loss reverse play that goes for a touchdown somehow.
Yep.
You take away the Jarvis Landry throwing touchdown that I mean, come on. Seriously, you're going to let that It was a pretty good throw. It was a nice looking throw though.
Yep.
They might want to actually think about putting him back there instead of
might
Baker.
need to. Yeah.
But they got out yardaged by almost 60 yards. Like so it's not like their offense was like, wow, so amazing. Like it seriously was those couple trick plays make a difference, and nobody's gonna fall for those trick plays anymore. And there's
Yep.
no way that they're gonna they're not gonna be able to come out with those every single week. Like, hey, we've got 4 new trick plays in the book. Like, you're just not gonna be able to do it. So I
No.
think that they're still gonna be pretty solid. They're still gonna be pretty average, and make a run at the playoffs. But they're not this team that everybody.
They're not better than the Steelers or the Ravens.
3-1. Because I mean, like we talked about, Dallas is, and it is Dallas that they did beat, which is great. But like, their defense is so bad.
Cowboys kind of shot themselves in the foot too with 3 turnovers. Too,
Definitely.
so, but yeah, the Browns are not. They're not better than the Ravens or the Steelers.
No, yeah. So I don't know. They'll make a run at
And
it.
I could even see the Bengals beating them the second time around.
Oh, for sure. With Joe Burrow's filling him, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Colts will be a tough game, but then they got to go see the Steelers. I think that's a loss. Bengals maybe. Raiders lost. Texans hit their stride by then. Eagles good game. Jaguars probably
Yeah.
good game. Still.
So it's
Titans,
50-50 whether they put it together or not, because they've showed flashes that they could, but also I'm not sold on them either. So
yeah, I'm not sold yet.
yeah. Can we talk about the brawl that happened in L.A.?
So was that like fighting for custody over the kids, or just like for fun?
No, over the kids.
Yeah, didn't you hear it? So Jalen Ramsey has 2 kids with Golden
I know.
Tate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but why would it be over custody?
I don't know, dude. It was funny.
That was kind of funny. But yeah, so Jalen Ramsey has kids with Golden Tate's sister, but he left Tate's sister while she was pregnant.
Yeah, I think with the second one, right?
I lost so much respect for him after hearing about that. That's so messed up.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. But I mean, like not that it's okay, but I mean it's not like Golden Tate's the best person in the world either.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for Golden Tate, which is great because Russell's really happy now, so maybe he wouldn't know.
Okay, that's not true. You actually believe that?
Oh, it's definitely true.
Really?
Definitely.
Really?
Most definitely. Now that this comes out too, like Golden Tate's had so many problems with teammates and everything. Definitely.
That's no. I
Come on.
I don't buy that at
Most
all.
definitely. Look it up. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Golden Tate, Russell Wilson. Just look it up.
I'll just say it.
Oh.
Golden Tate slept with Russell Wilson's wife.
Yep.
Or ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
Yeah, there's no way. There was no like. That was such a rumor just started by fans. There was no evidence behind that.
So true.
And you think that's what like made him get divorced?
I think that's what made him get divorced. I think that's what broke up the original like team that we had that was running for the Super Bowl, the Legion of Boom, basically, but on the offensive side, obviously.
I mean, Russ is doing way better for himself now anyway. So
Right? See, everything worked out for good. But supposedly, I read an article too that Jalen threw the first punch.
yeah, because I think Tate. I think there's some talk between the two before that as well.
Oh, there was talk between the two, and there was also that massive hit that Jalen had on Golden Tate. That was that. If we're talking about Cam Chancellor-esque, that was Cam
Yeah.
Chancellor right there.
Yeah, I heard that Ramsey was waiting for him outside the locker room too after the game.
They said he was like pacing back and forth, like in his full uniform still. Like he never even went to his locker room. He was just waiting for Golden.
Dude, you guys just gotta let these guys brawl it out, in my opinion.
I agree.
so that-
I heard that there's a rough and rowdy coming at the end of the month.
Ooh,
Barstool, jump on that.
absolutely, please.
Shout out to @Barstool.
I would pay for that. I would pay to watch that. Just
Right?
J-
That would be a good fight actually.
my money would be on Jalen. He's got the wingspan. He's got the
Golden's
wingspan,
just
man.
scrappy though.
He is
Really-
scrappy, but Jalen's
he's
just
really
got
interesting.
he's
I
got
think he could get. I think he's just got enough maneuver that he would just get in and under punches and be able to get inside still.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, there were a few COVID outbreaks this week too.
Yeah, dang, man. I saw that somebody put I think it was actually the Barstool people because they're like in New England, so they love the Patriots, but they put the Patriots but with Cam Newton like up in their rankings because it was very obvious like they put on a pretty good fight without Cam, and I think Cam really takes them over the edge.
Yeah.
But that was a bummer to see. And I think Stephen Gilmore just tested positive too. So now they're out Cam and Gilmore.
That's funny because I saw a picture of Gilmore like hugging Mahomes and like getting really close to his face.
Maybe he knew. He was like, check this out, guys. I'm going to help out the league.
Hey, good game, Pat.
Yeah, no, he.
Can
Let's
you
see.
imagine if Mahomes got tested positive?
Oh my goodness, the whole league would be shut down. But yeah,
They
he
shut it
tested
down for sure.
positive.
That's your guy.
Is today Wednesday? Yeah, tested positive today, and they canceled their practice and all that stuff. So
Yeah, that's good. I guess, but because then the Titans, was it the Titans who tested positive or the Steelers?
the Titans did.
And I saw this morning there's pictures going around of Titans players like working out together this over the weekend.
Nice, good job, guys.
They're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Super
crushing
smart.
it.
Super
The thing that I
smart.
still don't understand is how they're going to make last week their bye weeks.
They worked it out some way.
Did they? Did they just reschedule?
Yeah,
the
so
whole...
they moved the Patriots Ravens game from week 7 to week 8 because I guess it
Okay.
kind of worked out, and then the Steelers are playing the Titans week 7, so it looked like it
Okay.
worked out kind of good for him.
So they just restructured things. For 'em. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was gonna say because like
It looked like it was pretty easy for him too.
their bye weeks weren't the same week, so it's not even like you can just say, "Hey, you guys are gonna play your game on your bye week."
No, so I'm guessing what happened is the Ravens bye week must have been week 8. So they just moved that the Steelers game with them to week 8. Ravens now have their bye week to be week 7.
Gotcha.
That's all I can think happened. But hopefully, I know they put in a bunch of new protocols too. So hopefully this is all we get from that. Because if we keep having these, then that puts the whole league in jeopardy.
Yeah, it's just we just gotta. I don't want to see football go away.
2020, you can't make 2020 worse, man. Just come on, just keep it.
I know. Wait till 2021.
Might be even worse. I don't know. But I want to talk about the MVP race too, because I think as much as we love Russ, and I do think he is the front runner by
It's still
by a little
definitely
bit,
race.
it's really close, man. Between I don't think there's really anyone close between these four. Russ, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said Allen because not a lot of people have been talking about him. But he's actually -1 touchdown, has better numbers than Russ.
I don't think he's on a pick yet.
He hasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's 15-0, where Russ is 16-1.
16 and
Pass.
2.
Oh, 2 now, yeah.
2 now.
True.
Yep.
Touchdown to interception, and Josh Allen actually has more passing yards too. He has 1326, where Wilson only has where is it? Less than that. I don't know. I can't find it.
Yeah, but Russ has a better passing rating right now, right?
Definitely, yes. Russ has got a 75% passing. So like literally 3 out of every 4 throws that he makes is being completed. Like that's
He's just to keep it going, man, because I feel like he's always in the MVP race at the beginning of the year, and
Yes.
then by week 13 through 17 he starts. I don't know what happens to him, but his numbers drop way down, and whoever else is hot, like Josh Allen this year, for example, if he just stays hot, he just keeps playing like Lamar last year, Mahomes 2 years ago. So I'm kind of worried it's gonna be the same thing again.
yeah, it's really gonna be interesting to see how he responds second half of the season and if he continues what he's doing.
But it is different this year because they are letting him. What are they letting him do?
Smells like
They're-
they're letting him cook.
They're cooking something good.
They're cooking something real good.
But no, there seriously are 4 legitimate candidates for it.
Definitely. And I think I saw an article, and I'm looking at some numbers right now too, which make me believe that it really is starting to come to life. Is Tom Brady is slowly bringing himself back into the MVP discussion because he had 5
know.
touchdowns on Sunday, and so in comparison, so Josh Allen's got 1326 with he has 15. I don't know why this is saying 12, but Tom Brady's got 1122 with 11 touchdowns. So he has another big game like that, and everybody else has their average games, and he's literally right there neck and neck with them.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to see. We want to see Brady bounce back.
Another Brady run.
Yay. We all
And
love it.
people, one thing that people are probably gonna say is, where is Dak Prescott in this discussion? Which he is on pace for shattering the NFL single season passing yardage.
It's all in
record.
garbage time.
It is
A lot of it is.
whether it's garbage time or not.
Yeah.
He's on pace. They say he's on pace to throw for 6,700 yards, and the previous record is 54, which is what Manning set in 2013.
It's just
but-
they get down by like 30.
Yeah, and you can't be an MVP when you keep losing, and he's only got 9 touchdowns. Like, how do you have 300 plus more yards?
He's
than
ran for a few,
Wilson
right?
does? Yeah,
yeah.
he has ran for a few, but
yeah,
I mean, you gotta bump. Those are rookie numbers. You gotta bump those numbers up.
you do. Yeah.
And the only person who's even close, that's not a quarterback, in my eyes, would be Alvin Kamara. Just for the sheer effect that he has on the team, but still, this is telling me he's only got 236 yards with 4 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah, everyone's saying that he should have been the first one, like the first overall pick in all the fantasy drafts now. if everyone went back. But
Yeah, probably.
all right, well, I think it's that time of the week. It's time for our weekly booms and busts.
I love this part of the week. And like we talked about, I think it's going to be a theme this whole season. Is
But
booms.
first we just need to point out that I am 4-0 in Mitchell's family league. I literally joined like 3 hours before the draft.
Yeah.
Yep, and now I'm just working all of them.
Yeah, he had a pretty solid draft. He's getting lucky so far, but
Super lucky.
it'll come down to earth here pretty soon. But I think, like we talked about, the theme of this year is just going to be booms and busts like crazy because it's just such a weird year. Because you go over Green Bay and you look at a guy named Robert Tonyan, who I think
Who?
is going to be an emerging star. But exactly who? Who's that?
Who?
He had 6 receptions, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns for 33 points. He was scheduled for 5.6 this week. Justin Herbert actually played pretty well. He was scheduled for 15 points this week and got 28 because he had 3 touchdowns, almost 300 yards passing. Teddy Bridgewater said, I'm going to do that too. He had 30 points. He had 2 touchdowns, 276, and I think he had a rushing touchdown.
And beat the
also.
Cardinals, so that gives him the extra.
Yes, that gives him an extra 5 points in our book.
Yep.
We got a guy named Tim Patrick.
Who? Who's that?
If you're on fantasy and with the Denver Broncos, go look up his picture. It's a good little smile right there. Tim Patrick, wide receiver from the Broncos, 23 points. He had 113 yards on 6 receptions with a touchdown. So that's a pretty good day.
Another guy you should drop DeAndre Hopkins for sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
Make sure you get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Michael Thomas isn't going to be the same off the IR, so get rid of him too. The Chiefs defense put up 20 points with 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery and a touchdown. That's pretty good defense. Scotty Miller, the most known name in the building, Scotty Miller from Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Oh, yeah.
5 receptions, 83 yards with a touchdown for 19 points. Jamal Williams, he had a really big game out of the backfield, but receiving because he had quite a few receptions, I think like 50 yards receiving and a touchdown for 18 points, running back from Green Bay. David Moore had 3 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. Another acrobatic touchdown.
I love David Moore. He doesn't he never has more than 3 catches in a game, but he always makes the clutch ones, man.
They're big and they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Catches.
Wow.
18
catches.
points go to him. Dalton Schultz from Dallas, a tight end, 4 receptions, 72 yards, a touchdown for 17 points. Jeff Smith from the New York Jets had 15 points on 7 receptions and 81 yards. That's a pretty good day. Yeah, exactly. Who dat? Speaking of who dat, it's who Dak Prescott had 45 points with 4 touchdowns and 500 yards passing, but he did have an interception and a fumble, so he should have had like 50 points. Come on. Just acquired him in a trade this week. Let's go. We have Joe Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals. He had 151 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns for 42 points after like single-digit points for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's not going to last.
Oh, it is, definitely. Tom Brady goes for 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, an interception, but still gets 42 points. George Kittle says, I'm the best tight end in the league. Doesn't matter if I'm hurt or not. 15 receptions, 183 yards with a touchdown for 39 points. Oh, my gosh. That kid just went off. Odell Beckham Jr. had 38 points because he had 5 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a touchdown running for like 70 yards. So that helps. Aaron Rodgers says, I'm going to stay hot with 4 touchdowns and 327 yards for 37 points. Amari Cooper benefits from Dak's big day with 33 points, 134 yards, and a touchdown, 12 receptions. And I took another picture of Robert Tonyan for some reason just because he was so good this week. Dalvin Cook had 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, 28 points. DJ Chark Jr. makes a little bit of revitalization in the fantasy world with 8 receptions, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 29 points. Mike Evans, before he got injured again, gets 7 receptions, 122 yards, a touchdown for 25 points. Adam Thielen, 114 yards, a touchdown, 25 points. Chris Carson, good to see you back, buddy. 80 yards with 2 tutties for 25 points. Melvin Gordon III, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 points. CeeDee Lamb says, I can do it too, Amari, and gets 79 yards for 2 touchdowns, 24 points. Allen Robinson II keeps it rolling with 101 yards, a touchdown, 23 points. Jerick McKinnon had 54 yards on the ground, but a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown for 22 points. Mike Huda Davis, 84 yards, coming up with a touchdown, 21 points. Olamide, I think is how you say his first name, Olamide Zaccheaus, whatever, from the Atlanta Falcons gets 8 receptions, 86 yards, 16 points. And that is our booms for the week. So we're just
A
giving
lot of who's. A lot
Yeah.
of who?
like a who dat. And they're talking about this Olamide Zacchaeus guy really benefiting from Julio Jones struggling and getting hurt because we're going to have another Atlanta Falcon in our bust here pretty soon. That'll show you why Zacchaeus might be a good little pickup in your fantasy. But
Hit
our
it.
bust for the week. Josh Jacobs, 9 points. He only had 48 yards. He had 15 carries too. Miles Sanders, also 9 points, 46 yards.
Bust. Big bust.
This guy's been on. I think he's actually going to get moved out of the bust category because it's a weekly thing. Daniel Jones, 9 points, 190 yards with an interception. Not even a tutty. Nick Mullins in San Francisco gets benched because he had 8 points because 2 interceptions, a fumble. Did have a touchdown for 200 yards, but he's officially benched for CJ Beathard, who came in and led a 75-yard touchdown drive. So that might be an interesting little pickup for those of you in deep leagues. Julio Jones only had 7 points, 32 yards on 4 receptions, and is now questionable because he has hurt a little bit. Tyler Lockett had a slow week. He only had 5 points, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Calvin Ridley, no points, no receptions.
He got ejected,
no
didn't he?
yards. And he was gone. I think, what was it, the second quarter? It was early.
It was early. It was really
wasn't
early.
super early, but it definitely was
Yeah.
early. Austin Eckler, which I just read a report, he's out for 5 to 6 weeks. And he only had 2 points, which is a asterisk bust because he got hurt, obviously.
Pick up Josh
But-
Kelly, people.
Yeah, Josh Kelly could be a good pickup, but Brian Hoyer, ouch. He had a good start in the place of Cam Newton. He only had 130 yards, an interception, a fumble, and only got 1 point for him before they handed it off to Jarrett Stidham. Kenyon Drake, he's about ready to move out of the best category too because it's a weekly occurrence. 35 yards, no touchdowns, only 3 points. Darrell Henderson Jr., get rid of him now if you have him. Cam Akers is on his way back, and he only had 22 yards, 8 carries for 4 points. Nick Chubb, another asterisk. He only had 43 yards for 4 points, but he is on the injured reserve, so at least 3 weeks out. Marvin Jones Jr., 1 reception, 9 yards for 1 point. Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins, go Seahawks. We kept him in check for only 15 yards, 2 points. Brandon Cooks, no receptions, no points. And last but not least, you had AJ Green with 1 point for the week.
AJ, come on, man. We have some questions in the chat. Should I pick up DJ Dallas? You good? Good. Zach? Yes, I think you should. Because Chris Carson can get hurt at any second. I think DJ's going to start over Homer. And then eventually probably over Hyde once Hyde's back. I picked him up in my Dynasty League. And I think I'm going to hang on to him. Because I think Chris Carson's going to walk. Or we'll let him walk.
What was the question?
He said, should I pick up DJ Dallas?
Who's the question from?
Zach, my friend. Zach.
Are you in the maybe a super deep league, but Chris Carson's going to get the bulk of everything going?
If you got room, if you got room in your roster, do it. He said, should I pick up Brian Hoyer?
Oh, most definitely. Brian Hoyer. I think Cam Newton comes back and his spot's
No,
gone.
he's the
Definitely
future of
Brian
New England. Yeah.
Hoyer. Oh, yep, definitely. The 30-year-old future.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. We've hit our time limit already. Nice little 45-minute guy. One last thing I want to say for the NBA Finals. I'm still going with it. Heat in 7.
It's very possible.
Heat in 7.
Losing last night's game definitely does not help them. Seeing them even up 2-2 would have been nice, but
Heat in 7.
it's definitely possible. They look good. They look real good.
Heat in 7. All right. Well, thanks for everyone who hopped into chat with us today. It was a good
Thanks
day.
for sticking it out.
Sticking it
Couple
out. Yeah.
Technical problems on my end.
Yeah. Mitch is
have
gonna
those
have a
fixed by
Mitch,
next-
Mitch is gonna have a brand new mic next time. So you better.
We're gonna we're gonna fix some stuff up. This thing's just
The whole time. That's why we don't have a. That is actually why we don't have 1,000 viewers right now because of that. So
yeah. We got a
Yeah.
bunch of emails from people saying that
Yep.
if we fix that, we would be in
Yep.
quadruple digits. So
Yep.
we're gonna get that.
all right, baby, sign us out.
All right. Once again, we'd like to thank you for taking this ride with us. Get your hands on the wheel, screamers, and thank you for taking this exit with us. Hopefully, we'll see you next week, and hopefully everything's going to be fixed and ready to roll. And we're talking about the fact that the Astros are out of the playoffs, hopefully.